The International University of Management, a Namibian university dedicated to its people's future, a hub of abundant opportunities.
We are for life. We are UL.
Good evening and welcome to Today on One. I'm Maggie Forciedo. In the news tonight, we will not retract our statement, says Nkongo. Bieka's sister arrested. Utani calls for urgent intervention to address housing needs of low-income groups. And Roundup, Comments Corner, Business on One, Sports and the weather. Now for the news in detail. The SWAPO Party Youth League, after a recent statement it released discouraging ongoing discussions on the legalization of same-sex marriages in Namibia, has received criticism from various human rights and LGBTQI+ movements, noting that remarks made were homotransphobic and discriminatory. This report from Selma Tapopi.
Founder of the RAM Gender Diversity calling for its retraction.
What we are saying that the legislature that law reform to the Ministry of Justice is to unite the all Namibian citizens, and everyone is equal before the law. We cannot have some of the national organizations like SPYL and they are being homophobic. During the election, we never had such of this homophobic attack to anyone. But when it's coming to certain issues, we want to attack people. But that is very wrong, and we cannot tolerate that. What we're saying is that only the people that are being discriminated for so long, and these laws, they have already laws. I think if the Sodom law is created, and then let me even bring to that, most of the people, married men that are cheating, they are not cheating with women, they are cheating with men. So now why should we have a law that make things complicated? I think this law has served its purpose, is no longer needed, and it must be now scrapped, must just be gone. Every Namibian is very important, regardless of their sexual orientation. We must take on account on that. Everyone is important regardless of their sexual orientation.
The Youth League Secretary, Ephraim Nkongo, notes that the recent statement will remain the League's position on the legalization of same-sex marriages in Namibia and will not be retracted, adding that the ruling party has a moral obligation to protect the interests of Namibians.
Whoever feel offended, well, they are free to oppose. We are free to say whatever they want, because that's what they are. It's also their right. Where their right hand is also where our right hand. Started. If the party leadership felt we have done something wrong, we are up for discipline. They must come and discipline us and say you were not supposed to say satanic. But for now, as a leader of the youth, mandated by the youth of this country, of SWAPO, we have said it, that we are not going to sit and wait for people to come and discuss satanic activity and do we want to have. What are we talking about? Even animal kingdom, in the animal kingdom, have you seen a cock mating with another cock? Have you seen a bull, going on in another bull? What are we? What is happening to us? We are not American, we are not from West, we are not European.
Human rights organizations such as the Namibia Equal Rights Movement have now called on the head of state, the Minister of Gender Equality, the Minister of Justice and the Minister of Sports to condemn SPYL's statement and for the Ombudsman to investigate possible incitement of violence.
Following the broadcast of a story involving a family sold behind their backs, the long arm of the law managed to catch up with Florida Beekers, the lady without her siblings' consent. She was, however, granted bail of 5,000 Namibia dollars and is currently somewhere in Karatura, according to one of the residents. Isai Sipunga has more.
Community Voices proudly brought to you by Namdeb Diamond Corporation. Good today, better tomorrow.
After a warrant of arrest was put out, Florida Beekers was successfully apprehended to Windhoek.
Florida got arrested on the 17th. We were told that the warrant sent a warrant of arrest, and one of the guys went there and got the sister, which was a brother that got the sister, and then we were shown the address actually, and then they brought her, and then they had the court was on the 19th. To court, they were told actually that the case has been postponed till the 19th of August, and then they will have further investigations.
Things are still obscure at the moment, says Hermine Beekers. They reached out to the office of the Ombudsman, but even that approach ended up fruitless.
They were having today that meeting, and all I just heard when I asked, the lady said she couldn't give advice or something, or they just said this matter is just the court itself, the judge will actually deal with this matter, so they can't intervene.
Out of 10 adults, only 3 are employed, including her. Despite Florida's arrest, the family still has a long court battle which they cannot afford to lose because of the children.
Community Voices proudly brought to you by Namdeb Diamond Corporation. Good today, better tomorrow.
Delivery targets of the Harambee Prosperity Plan 2. Joseph Ilonga has this report.
The Minister of Urban and Rural Development said that there is a dire need for financing institutions to intervene to build more credit-linked houses that are below 200,000 Namibia dollars to allow low-income groups that earn between 2,000 Namibia dollars and 3,000 Namibia dollars to afford houses.
We have many of our people under well-intended schemes such as Build Together, Shape Dwellers, and many other stakeholders, but a dire need for the intervention of our financial sector is needed in order to expand the servicing and the land delivery process. As we have demonstrated through our informal settlement upgrade pilot project in the city of Windhoek, with interest rates by financiers, provided that we can build more credit-linked houses that are below 1,000 Namibian dollars. Many of these people of our society Namibian dollars and 3,000 Namibian dollars per month. And these are the people like petrol attendants, cleaners in public and private sectors, street vendors, as well as those in interim position in our establishment and many others below that. These are the people who want to hear that a house is below 200,000 Namibian dollars. But if it is above that, they will not come forward and the status quo remains.
According to the first objects of the National Housing Enterprise Act, the objects of the NHE shall be the financing of housing for inhabitants of Namibia and generally the providing for the housing needs of such inhabitants. Joba Mupanda, the mayor of the city of Windhoek, stated that under this act, the NHE is actually a bank and should be providing housing finances, especially to low-income groups.
The first object of NHE Act is housing finance. NHE is actually a bank. NHE is not supposed to be giving tenders and doing all those things that they are doing. They're supposed to be giving, which they don't do. Honorable Minister, if NHE can be directed to say you are housing finance, even on the basis of a pilot project, to say we are going to give you this money to advance the loans to the low-income group. Because with the housing backlog that is there, 300,000, 70% of them are in that category. So the ministry can actually even say, well, on top of the 5 million that we are giving to NHE, we are going to give you another 5 million. But this 5 million is for you to start a loan facility. NHE is not even supposed to be having their books taken over by commercial banks. That's weakness. They're supposed to be doing housing finance. That's a legal mandate that they're not supposed to be collaborating with commercial banks. Also, Honorable Minister, in Section Act, there is provision for two things. One is a housing fund, and two is a housing scheme. They have their mini banks there to provide loans to the low income.
Of Urban and Rural Development also said that his ministry is tasked to promulgate the long-awaited rent control bill by the end of 2021 and to scale up the investment in the provision of proper sanitation to bring an end to them by the end of the year 2022.
Namibia is bleeding. Women and children no longer feel safe in the land of their birth. This is not due to war, but due to gender-based violence perpetrated by mostly men. This call is to our fathers, brothers and sons to unite against gender-based violence. Let us come together and say a big no to gender-based violence. Together, we can build a safer and better society for all. My Namibia, my country, my pride.
Here's the story of a handsome subscriber with a sister, a friend and a mom who are always needing airtime, and a lady who missed a call back from a job interview cause she went low on airtime. Over here, our super socially follow the prime. That's right. Getting tumble, 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 transfer tumble, 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 advance tumble, 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 connecting tumble, thanks to tumble, we all are connected.
In other leading stories, the 6th round of the Namibia-Zimbabwe diplomatic and political consultations were held in Windhoek, Namibia from 19th to the 20th May 2021 at the Ministry of International Relations and Cooperation. The ministerial session Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of International Relations and Cooperations, and Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade of the Republic of Zimbabwe. During their deliberations, both sides took stock of progress made on the various decisions from the last Joint Commission and focused on critical matters affecting bilateral cooperation between the two countries, including transport, energy, trade, investment, and agriculture, amongst others. The meeting commended the efforts by the two governments to combat the further spread of COVID-19, including the rollout of vaccines to their respective populations. Zimbabwe for airlifting free of charge COVID-19 vaccines donated by the People's Republic of China in March 2021. On the exportation of beef to Zimbabwe, both parties took note of Namibia's interest to export beef to Zimbabwe and committed to put measures in place to ensure that all the necessary arrangements are made to enable the successful exploration for mutual benefit. Both parties noted with satisfaction that the dry port of the Republic of Zimbabwe at the port of Walfish Bay was operational and in line with the desire of both heads of state to enhance economic cooperation. They welcomed the planned roadshow initiative in June-July 2021 aimed at promoting the Zimbabwean dry port facility holds through the Trans-Kalahari corridor to Zimbabwe. The two countries further committed to avail all necessary assistance and support to ensure a successful roadshow exercise. Both parties committed to continue the Botswana, Namibia and Zimbabwe trilateral negotiations on the Trans-Kalahari Railway Line project and to fast-track the project's full implementation. The parties agreed to give special attention to the strengthening of economic cooperation. In this regard, they noted the importance of holding frequent meetings of the Joint Trade and Economic Committee as a forum put in place to facilitate and nurture trade and economic ties between both countries. The Zimbabwean delegation expressed its sincere appreciation and fraternal gratitude for the climate of cordiality which characterized the discussions and reiterated its interest in further deepening the existing relations of cooperation based on the spirit of mutual respect, friendship and solidarity.
Are you a CMS member? With HospiCash 100, you can get up to 100,000 Namibian dollars cover with a 30,000 limit per event from as little as 100 Namibian dollars a month. We understand that being in hospital can be stressful. That is why with HospiCash 100, you can cover your non-medical expenses by receiving cash payouts when you are in hospital, so you can recover stress-free. Interested? SMS your name and HospiCash to 555 and we will call you back.
Joseph Shufeni is standing by for Business on One and the economic indicators.
We recently launched a project that seeks to enhance business outreach on digital platforms. The initiative will connect local entrepreneurs with others in the SADC region. Innovation Officer at the NBII, Ezekiel Johannes, said that the project is the first of its kind in Namibia and it aims to bring together businesses in the education sector, offering training on ways to operate in a digital business ecosystem.
COVID-19 have really changed the way things are being done, and that also cascades to the education sector. People now are learning through online. They are no more going to classes, for example, in university. And also at the schools, there is also a promotion of the use of ICT and so forth. So what we are saying is that in this sector now, as policies are being made in the way people conduct or learn or teach or educate or supply things, now what we are saying is that now there is also edupreneur. And edupreneurs in Namibia is really a new kind of a new sector, even though there has been already some players. But now we are also trying to help these guys and say, come on board, be on the digital platform, so that you are able to learn from others from SADC.
Other partners that are collaborating on the project are GLODOM, the National Commission on Research, Science and Technology, as well as the Southern African Innovation Support Program.
We are sort of bringing the future closer. There are so many things that have been said to be will happen in like 10 years or 20 years and so on. But this is really an opportunity for Namibia to position itself, in the not only on the SADC level but also on the African continent and also globally. Because this project is starting in Namibia. As I've said, is that we are building a digital business ecosystem that is cutting across the Southern African region and not only limited to Namibia. And this is putting entrepreneurs and connecting the entrepreneurs across the region to allow those that are building innovative businesses to plug into the new ways of doing things. Yeah. So for the young people, it then provides a platform that makes it very easy for them to build digital businesses.
Although the Edupreneur project is in March, the launch of the digital platform and training of local and regional stakeholders in the education space will take place in June. And that's all we have for you. Join us again tomorrow for another edition of Business on One.
Winter is here. Let's warm you up by giving you a chance to win one of 12 gas heaters and accessories or a grand prize of 50,000 Namibian dollars. To enter the Winter Warmers competition, simply buy any combination more of the following participating brands: Baker's, Five Roses, Fresh Pack, Frisco, or Hug in a Mug, and SMS WINTER to 445. And remember to keep your till slip as proof of purchase. Promotions run from the 1st of May to the 31st of July. For more information and entry, NA, T's and C's apply.
Now we look at Comments Corner, your daily dose of comments from the hottest social media pages. 8 Chume police officers have come under fire after a video was circulated on social media showing bruises of 2 inmates from the Chume police station holding cells who were allegedly assaulted. Residents have called out the act, noting that it's not the first have been subjected to police brutality. Doc Lydia says no human should be assaulted like that. Max says police brutality must fall and justice must prevail. Simon says police officers should understand that they do not have the right to beat civilians. EJ also agrees that police brutality must fall despite whether a person has done wrong. While Maneki says it's a common practice at that police station. That is all from Comments Corner. Be sure to post your comments on our social media pages for broadcast every day only on Today on One.
What's up, world? This is Shay, the goddess of the airwaves, on 99 FM, Monday to Friday, serving you breakfast on the ignition between 6 and 9. We brought you to be inspired, taking you to master your destiny. Now it's time to do the work.
Put on your work boots and do the time.
Make it, and then make it better.
Hello, world. It's your Script here on The Kingdom, where we're reminding you every single day.
Get up. You've got this. Start where you are.
Hey, this is your girl Treza on Hitsville on 99 FM, letting you know it's okay.
Try.
Mistakes.
Awesome.
I am Sibo, and I'm going to be with you for quite a while. Thank you so much for joining us here on your inspiration station, where we let you know
there's no easy money, there's no easy job, there's no easy life.
99 FM. Do the work.
Time now for today's sports update with Charo Musiandaka.
Welcome to Sports on One. I'm Charo Musiandaka.
The Namibia Wrestling Federation recently held their first coaching clinic in 4 years at the after-school training center located in Gres Block, Katatura. High-profile South African wrestler coach Herkie van der Merwe headed the coaching clinic attended by and coaches. Castro Lumbu has more on this story.
Wrestling Federation President Patrick Meyer provided information about the coaching clinic, stating that the main aim of the clinic is to develop and create a standard of coaches in Namibia wrestling.
This is our first coaching clinic since I think 2018. Okay, we've got highly qualified people here, like our national coach, Mr. Louis Paas, Herkie van der Merwe from South Africa, and Saul van der Merwe. They present the course today. We've got about 15 participants here. So what we would like to achieve is to get all the coaches on a high standard, so that the level of the wrestlers, the technical levels can increase a lot, so that we can start winning medals at international competitions. Well, there's a lot of psychological levels. Before compete 5 clubs in Namibia, Osekati, Swakop, 2 clubs in Windhoek, and 1 in Keetmanshoop. There's 2 clubs that's opening now within the next month. It's Stamprit Wrestling Club, and then Z1 Academy in Windhoek. So there will be 3 clubs in Windhoek. We've got about more than 100 active wrestlers in Namibia currently.
Namibia Wrestling head coach Louis Paas says that the federation is currently looking into getting more females involved in the sport code.
In the moment we have 5 female. It's difficult because we're missing also for training with the same in the same category with the same boys, but because we don't have enough coach. But now we are busy with that for develop the level of the coach. For also we bring a specialist for girls, for boys, and this is our goal now in the moment.
Despite missing out on a chance to represent Namibia at the Olympic Games, Romeo Goliath says qualifying for the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, set to take place in 2022, is his main target.
The coaching clinic is very important because it's part of coaching, because later on we as wrestlers and retired wrestlers are going to take up, never stop, and then the next level is the Commonwealth. I've missed the chance to qualify for the Olympic Games, but like someone said to me, you need to be better, and I've learned, I've psychologically prepared, because this was also a preparation for me, psychologically.
Concluded on Saturday, 22nd of May 2021.
That's all we have for you tonight. Join us again tomorrow, and don't forget to follow us on our social media pages. Back to you, Maggie.
Thanks for that update, Chiro. Now a look at the weather forecast.
The interior will be partly cloudy and warm to hot. The coast will be partly cloudy and warm to hot. And wind will be moderate northeasterly to fresh westerly. Now let's have a look at the minimum and maximum temperatures across the country and beyond.
That is all from us this evening. Tune in again tomorrow at 7 p.m. Don't forget to follow us on our social media pages. From me, Maggie Forciedo, and the rest of the team, it's good night.
The International University of Management, a Namibian university dedicated to its people's future. a hub of abundant opportunities.
We are IUL for life. We are IUL.
I like rhinos. I like them very much. Future here depending on the tourism. The future generation, they can see and they can benefit from their own resources. Animals like rhinos, elephants, the big five, you benefit from them and it must be respected. You are not feeding the rhinos, you are not giving them order, so it's a They asked me questions. Why are we here? Why are we sleeping here? I told them this is our resources and this is our future. My first memory with my dad is that I learned new things. As I grow up as a man, I see an opportunity in it. So I decided to look for a job pertaining to tourism. So that's when I was employed at Palembang. So I decided to go for tour guide studies because I grew up with the tourism industry, the wildlife, the rhinos and everything, to bring that experience to the tourists. You can see the hyena. The biggest changes, I was employed, getting paid, and also I can now support my family.
It's a cultural thing. It's coming a long way. Even if you go to area like Tweefontein, the area was a lot of paint, rhino engravings on the rocks. That is an indication that the interaction between human, especially the local communities and wildlife, is dating back. That intimacy relationship is coming for a long time.
We are right here now at Palembang, and Palembang is one of the big lodges in the heart of the desert. And as you can see, there is Jumbo standing behind me, which shows it's really a tourist area. We do have elephants, lions, But as you can see, the desert is the heart of the rhinos. This is the main breeding area of the rhinos, is what we found here in this desert.
It's the largest free-roaming population of black rhinos that you find outside national parks in the world. It's a population that communities in the northwest have taken responsibility themselves in managing this population with the structures that government has put in place. Establishment of conservancies.
These people, before independence, they took it upon themselves and decided that wildlife is our heritage, and through history we've been living with wildlife, and having wildlife in your area is like having a garden.
Because of all these animals, we've got the communities that benefit from all this wildlife, and it's like a triangle that fits into each other. And the communities looked after the wildlife doing their own thing, and the communities benefit.
So already there were this intergenerational relationship between mankind and wildlife, and that bond is what our people...
Wildlife that Namibia has. What is also important is the policies that Namibia has put in place involves communities to be engaged in the management of the wildlife species and also to benefit from the wildlife resources.
Turn conservation into a rural economy, turn conservation into endless opportunities that would actually cater for those young people that have nothing else to do.
If it was not for rhino economy and tourism in this area, it was to get or find a job.
We are conservation engineers. We make conservation work in an urban area, and through that, we want to turn the wildlife into the rural economy that will benefit the rural communities.
So we can see now wildlife is doing very well, the lodges are doing well, and the community is also benefiting. So it takes all three together.
Devastating hit over coronavirus fears. Airline industry is facing threat to travel since 9/11.
Since March, when COVID-19 hit Namibia, things actually become very difficult. In the first place, all the lodges closed down because of COVID-19. With us, Save the Rhino Trust, we had some donors cutting on their funding. And then we had, in the same time, a poaching case of... And poachers could actually see, now it's all changed to go in and do something. Who is one of our trustees actually came up with the idea of, why don't we ask you to go to buy some, and then we sell them for the rhino conservation.
I was fortunate enough to have a chance to have lunch with Clive Johnson, the CEO of B2Gold in Vancouver, Canada. And I looked at Clive and I said, you know, we've got rhinos, you've got gold, let's do something. Let's create a coin or a medallion or a bar using your resource to create a sustainable source of funding for rhino conservation for the future.
There was it. The gold was bought, the bar was made, and I think it was January, 31st of January, that comes to bars in Windhoek. And suddenly one morning I had an email from my office, from my finance person saying, these people don't have salaries. So I said, oh. So I pick up my phone and I phoned Mark Law. I said, Mark, I've got this problem. He said, but when we've got the fund already ready for you, you just have to apply, put a proposal in.
So make an enormous difference to the livelihoods of the communities that live up there. We are, in essence, providing income to the communities. In the absence of tourism, especially now with COVID-19, even prior to that, when we had such a bad drought, the communities became more dependent on the natural economy.
The idea is to make this that will be distributed immediately as needed. And in this case, the COVID-19 crisis necessitated us to distribute funds to pay salaries to help people in the field.
The proceeds of the sales from the gold bars will be going to NGOs, and we've identified Save the Rhino Trust as the key NGO, and IOD that was in the Northwest, Integrated Rural Development and Nature Conservation, so that ultimately the various aspects of their war on poaching.
To be able to support those in the front line between the poachers and the rhinos.
If it was not for B2 Gold and the golden bars, now we should have been in big trouble.
By extracting the gold, you reinvest it in other renewable resources.
The gold that's coming out from the ground, protecting the wildlife that's walking on the ground, which is a very good symbol for the others.
I wish this was my bar. This is the 500 gram gold bar. So you'll see on this side you've got the Etindeka Mountains and you've got the mother rhino with her calf. And then on the rear side we've got the serial number, you've got the Rand Refinery stamp, which is very important. Anywhere in the world it's a stamp and they will know that this bar contains 99.99% gold.
It is gorgeous.
We wanted to make a biggest contribution. And at Ballowwood, we see that as a way of giving back to the community.
Okay, so there you'll see the 500 gram bar.
Very special.
Feel the weight. It's incredible.
This opportunity which presented itself is absolutely a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
We're privileged to have this.
This is just absolutely gorgeous, and I think this showcase really what the project is all about.
It's from 24 karat Namibian gold.
I'm looking at these rhinos is put there like Miss World photogenic, I would say.
There are only 1,000 of these gold bars, rhino gold bars, in circulation.
As far as I'm aware, it's the largest single donation of any corporate of biodiversity anywhere in Africa.
Therefore, we so much appreciate and would want to continue as a government to work with B2 Gold.
And the fact that it's happening here in Namibia is something that we can all be extremely proud about and very grateful to B2 Gold.
Thanks to having this literal pot of gold through the funding for the Rhino Gold Bar, we're able to step in now and make sure that those trackers are supported, and so are their families and their communities.
We make sure that people have jobs going forward, and who doesn't want gold?
And the B2 Rhino Gold Bar has come in at a really critical time now, particularly with tourism being closed off, those forms of revenue not coming in.
To say we have
it. And it's also good that other people like B2 Gold are also seeing it that way.
It's actually a very nice link between the investor that buys this gold bar, the rhino tracker in the northwest of Namibia, and the black rhinos. It's an intergenerational thing. The rhino trackers teach their children how to track rhinos, their children get taught, and so it flows down.
This is something that I want my children to have, and that we leave a little bit of a B2 Gold legacy. And if I can be part of that as part of my family, I'd be very proud.
It can also become an inheritance for the generations of my own clan. My children, my grandchildren.
If we can bring that passion over future generations and to hand that over to my children, and I hope that that same passion for conservation gets migrated over to my kids.
And what we've done together is create a sustainable source of funding that should outlive all of us.
You know, I think as far as B2 Gold is concerned, we couldn't have chosen a better target in which to put our efforts as far as the environmental and conservation is actually going towards the people.
Rhino is for all of us, whether you are in Canada, you are in Vancouver, whether you are in the US. If you really want to see conservation at play with rural communities, I therefore humbly request each and everyone to join us on our rhino tour and have a wonderful experience. This is what keeps rhinos on this planet.
I've done rhino trekking experience. It was just amazing walking in that landscape of the Kunene. And as we followed them, we could now find rhinos with the calf. We got the closest distance we could.
It's a warning sign.
And it was just amazing and lovely, something to experience that Namibia can offer. It's something that you have to do in your life.
Namibia is known for its beautiful wide open landscapes. However, these deserted spaces also pose numerous educational challenges in our country's rural areas. Because of this, many learners are denied access to proper teaching and learning. At EduVision, we believe that education is the starting point to a journey of endless possibilities.
Soon and very soon, we are going to see it. Soon and very soon, we are going to see.
The plan for EduVision was to identify areas that do not have the proper learning resources, a working school or an education center.
Hallelujah, hallelujah, we are going to see it. No more.
My name is Philip Smith. I'm the principal of GOtv Academy in Otjiwarongo. The internet connection is a major thing that needs to be sorted out, or logistics. We chose Chunkwe Secondary School as the first school. Didn't make it easier for ourselves. It's very far from Otjiwarongo, it's far from Buntuk. So the internet connection was a big challenge first of all. So with the help of the telecommunications expert Paratus, they made this dream come true with internet connections via Buntuk, Otjiwarongo to Chunkwe and then back, the whole process. Like I said, it's interactive. The internet speed, capacity of the connectivity and so forth plays a major role. And so Paratus made this dream come true, and they were on board from the first moment. So very grateful for Paratus.
The project offers teaching assistance of a high standard in science to rural secondary schools within the learner's own community by means of e-learning. This entails the following: live transmissions of lessons from an equipped teacher in a different location to the students and interactive lessons, as well as the use of a smartboard as a teaching aid.
So if you look ahead at the next 3 years, the Ministry of Education, the future is very bright. So I think there's a lot of schools who can benefit from this program. Like I mentioned before, finance obviously plays a major role in a project like this. So we're very thankful for all the sponsors that are on board and still on board after 3 years of the project. So as long as people from the private sector can get involved, I think we can reach many schools in Namibia, because this project is a good start now. We've already seen some positive results, and we can just call on all the private sector corporate sponsors to come on board and join in this very, very positive project.
It is EduVision's goal to prepare and guide learners in order to make the modern world they are living in accessible to all.
My name is Magdalena Nyoma. I'm 18 years old, and I'm Unam Command School campus, and I completed my grade 12 at Tsungpe Senior Secondary School. I'm doing education, so I'm gonna teach at Tsungpe Secondary School, because there I really need to go there and motivate the learners. EduVision helped me a lot. It assisted us in teaching for mathematics, physical science, and biology. And it also we get to exchange learning from other schools like Educate, whereby they teach us, and that's the most we benefited from. Studying without Eduvision was so challenging, and when Eduvision was introduced at our school, things become more easier. The time where Eduvision was not introduced, we were so slow in learning, and when Eduvision introduced at our school, my learning speed increases. Things were kind of boring, and when Eduvision came, my mind changed the way I think. I'm really grateful for what Eduvision gave us. Our class of 2019 was the first group to make it to perform very well at Tsonkwe Senior Secondary School. So it should keep up the spirit. We need
tap into his or her own potential while working in an environment which views disadvantages not as obstacles but as unique attributes that can be regarded as powerful assets when given the proper opportunity. At EduVision, we believe that dreams are the foundation of knowledge and hope always triumphs over experience.
No more problems. Everything is proper.
Beautiful souls, this is Nikita Winkler, and I'm here to share easy tools for stretching that you can do just about anywhere. In this session, we will be doing seated chair stretches. Remember that this is a demonstration video, so take your time. These stretches are really beneficial because we spend so much time sitting with bad posture. So let's get started. First, bring yourself to the edge of your chair, ideally not a high chair with wheels. Okay, we want to make sure that the hips are aligned with the knees and the ankles and that your spine is upright. Take a nice inhale, open up the chest, exhale, release back. Inhale, open up the chest, exhale, release back, just to create mobility in your spine. And now we're going to go for a spinal twist. Inhale, twist, one arm goes by the opposite knee. And exhale, you can rest your arm on the backrest, or if you don't have one, just behind you. Come back. Inhale, exhale, twist. Do a couple more as you please. From here, we're going to lean forward to stretch the entire back and spinal vertebrae. You can use a pillow right here to make it more comfortable. If you wish, you can add some tapping on the neck. Come back up. If you do some tapping, make sure you give enough pressure. When we come up, we bring the right leg up, cross it over the left knee, and rotate your ankle. One direction and the other. Inhale, press on the knee. Exhale, release. Pressure into the knee to open up the hip. If you want to go deeper, lean forward. Come back up. Cross left over right. Ankle rotation. One direction and then the other. Inhale on the knee. Exhale. Press the hip open. And if you lean forward, notice how you move in
the body, lower back, glutes, and around the hips. Come back up.
And that's it for today's seated stretching. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget to breathe and happy stretching.